Hey everybody, Alaskan Beard here. Today we're going to be talking about Ratchet & Clank, specifically the Ratchet & Clank demo released at E3 in 2002. I bought the demo on a whim while browsing eBay, and I thought it would be fun to compare the demo to the final release and to see the differences. I also happened to pick up another demo released 3 months later, so we'll throw that in for comparison as well. First, let's go over a little background for all 3 releases. The E3 demo was released in May of 2002 at E3 that year. It includes 1 level, Metropolis, as well as a trailer. The Winter Jam Pack was released in October of 2002. It includes 2 levels, Metropolis and Blackwater, as well as the same trailer as the E3 demo. Then we'll be comparing the full release that came out in December of 2002, and it obviously has all the levels. All 3 versions begin in the same landing area, and that's actually where our differences start. The full release and the Jam Pack demo have a larger landing area, while the E3 demo has a smaller one. It appears that's probably due to the lack of ship in the E3 demo. Another small difference between the Jam Pack and the full release is the ship itself. In the Jam Pack, you have a ship you get later in the game that takes you to the other demo level, Blackwater, while in the full release, you have the ship that you got in the previous level, some green junker. The next difference is that in the Jam Pack demo and the full release, you can double jump. Thankfully, they decided to do this for the full release because in the E3 demo, you can only jump once, and it is not near as fun. After jumping down the starting ramp, we get to check out the Gadget Ron vendor. The E3 demo starts us off with the Blaster and the Pyrocitor, while the vendor sells the Agents of Doom and the Devastator, 2 weapons sold much later in the game. The Jam Pack demo, on the other hand, starts us off with the Blaster and the Pyrocitor as well, but it sells the Bomb Glove, which is the first weapon you get in the full release, as well as the Agents of Doom. The full release, we actually get the Bomb Glove in the first level, and we have the Blaster and Pyrocitor available for purchase. Moving right from the Gadget Ron vendor in both the E3 and Jam Pack demos, we have a wanted poster that was removed for the full release. Another slight difference is in the demos, the light poles are not destructible, but in the full release they are. When you smash them in the full release, they break off towards the base and spit out some nice tasty bolts. Moving towards Al's Robo Shack and looking at his giant robot that sits on top, we can see that in the E3 demo he's not colored, but in the Jam Pack demo and the full release he is. He has a nice yellow suit as opposed to being all one dark color. Moving on into Al's shop, during the cutscene we can actually see that in the E3 demo Al's glasses aren't transparent, but they are in the Jam Pack demo and the full release. Moving past Al's Robo Shack, we come up against a few doggy robots, and then after that, some Gadget Ron boxes. In the E3 demo, there's only 1 box and it clips to the floor when you get close. This is obviously a bug, but it was fixed for the later demo, the Jam Pack, and obviously the full release. Moving forward through the level, we have a handful of enemies to fight in a couple different spots, and this is much the same in all 3 versions of the game. And then we get to the train station, and this is where our next big difference starts. In both versions of the demo, we do not have a gold bolt like there is in the final version of the game. And I didn't go and look for all 3, I believe, gold bolts that are in this level, but I did confirm this one because it's, kind of right along the way. But yeah, it's not there in any case. After collecting our gold bolt, or at least looking for it in the case of the demos, we hop on a train for a ride through the city. After arriving at the next platform in both demos, we have a Blarg Chopper to fight. This Blarg Chopper is absent in the full release of the game. After having some mines thrown at us and fighting the Blarg Chopper, in all 3 versions of the game, we get an Infobot. In the 2 demos, it is for Blackwater City on Rilgar, and in the full release, it's for the logging site on planet Eudora. Coming around full circle back to the Gadget Ron vendor and moving towards the obstacle course. In the Jam Pack and the full edition, we have an extra dialogue cutscene between Clank and the Quarkbot, where Clank actually thinks it's Quark he's talking to. This is absent in the E3 demo. After making our way through the absolutely brutal obstacle course, in all 3 versions we get to meet the Officiator, Helga, And in the 2 demos, she is wearing just a plain black kind of tracksuit outfit. And then in the full release, she has a Quark logo on her shirt. Helga was the last of the major differences I was able to notice between the 3 versions of the game, but there are some overarching differences that I would also like to mention. In the full release, the Gadget Ron tooltips are completely voiced, but they aren't in the demos. This was just likely that they hadn't had the voice acting done for it at the time that the demos were released. Another small kind of level design difference I noticed is in all 3 versions of the game, there are bolts to guide your path to show you where to go, just like there are in a lot of games. But in the full release, they added some more bolts in different spots. And then the last difference I want to mention is the full game has the full options menu, obviously. The E3 demo has the options menu, but you can't actually change anything. And then the Jam Pack doesn't have an options menu at all. I originally noticed this because I wanted to invert the controls from what they normally are, and I obviously can in the full game, but I can't in either version of the demos. I'm sure there are some differences I didn't notice, and if you spot any, please comment below. In any event, it's cool to see the differences between the demos and the full release. And specific to Ratchet and Clank, it's neat to see just how things changed in one level after 3 and 7 months of extra development.